Talk of Lewis going to Ferrari is dissipating, as the 7-time world champion is on the brink of signing a new deal with his current team, Mercedes. The news has left the Tifosi disappointed, and their sorrows don't seem to end there, as rumours about their very own Charles Leclerc leaving the team are starting to make headlines. Mercedes fans are in for a treat, as Lewis Hamilton inches closer to sealing the deal on a fresh contract extension with the Silver Arrows. Hamilton reportedly received a lucrative £40 million offer from Ferrari, which he promptly turned down by disclosing that he's nearing the completion of a contract agreement with Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff. He said, "My team is working closely behind the scenes with Toto and we're almost at the end of having a contract ready. This is the first time that I have not been negotiating myself. I have a great team in the background that does the work and I focus on the job in hand. I say what I want, and that is what we are working towards, so hopefully in the coming weeks it will be decided." While Lewis Hamilton's contract negotiations continue to generate buzz, F1 pundit Peter Windsor speculates that if Charles Leclerc had the option, he would prefer to join forces with the 7-time world champion at Mercedes, while George Russell would take Leclerc's seat at Ferrari. Throughout the early stages of this year's championship, rumours have circulated suggesting a potential direct exchange between Hamilton and Leclerc for the upcoming season, as both drivers haven't been particularly impressed with their respective teams' performances. With Mercedes finding their momentum and showcasing their potential with the B-Spec W14, Lewis Hamilton secured a second-place finish in the recent Spanish Grand Prix, crossing the line ahead of his teammate George Russell. As a result, the British driver is now being strongly predicted to extend his contract with his current team, and this development could happen in the next few days, if not sooner. Following the race in Barcelona, Hamilton mentioned his plans to meet with team boss Toto Wolff during the week, and Wolff expressed confidence in being able to finalise a new agreement in a brief half-an-hour meeting. Once the official announcement of the new contract is made, it will effectively quash the rumours linking Hamilton to Ferrari. However, it does not rule out the possibility of Charles Leclerc joining Mercedes in the future to partner with the 7-time world champion. Peter Windsor suggests that if given the choice, Leclerc would prefer Hamilton as his teammate at Mercedes over Russell. He further elaborated on his reasoning in a video on his YouTube channel, saying that, "I think George has slightly more edge to his driving, just a little bit more, but Lewis has got softer, rounder transitions compared with George, therefore everything has to be pretty right for George to be as brilliantly quick as he is. But I think if there's some sort of issue with the tyres, whether it be tyres are gaining or going off or whatever it is, then you're going to see Lewis or Charles with a softer touch being able to have a wider sweet spot of driving. But it's going to be very close. George is super quick, and it's a big thing for Charles Leclerc to go to Mercedes, if he goes, to put himself up against George Russell. If you said to Charles right now, if he was here and you were having dinner tonight privately, who would you rather have in the other Merc if you're going to go, George or Lewis? He'd say, oh, Lewis. Windsor further elaborated on the difference between Leclerc and Russell, and even picked the latter to win in a head-to-head battle for supremacy. He said, "George is a serious player, but he's got slightly less margin for error, and I think he drives like Ayrton Senna, actually apart from the throttle business. He's right on the edge. But there's no margin really with George. There's no margin with any of them, except that when something goes slightly wrong, a driver who's a manipulative, softer input driver has got a little bit more of an area in which to play, whereas George doesn't leave much, and he's very quick. So yeah, it would be a big problem for Charles to beat George at Mercedes. I'd be surprised if he does actually, because George knows the team, he knows the whole thing. So as good as Charles is, I don't believe he would outperform George. And if they got a championship-winning car, and it was George and Leclerc, I'd put my money on George in year one. But despite picking George for Mercedes, according to Windsor, a transition to Mercedes would prove beneficial for the Monegasque driver, as it would allow him to leave Ferrari and all associated aspects behind. I think for Charles he'd love to be in a Red Bull, but if he can't be in a Red Bull, I think it's better for him to be with Mercedes than with Ferrari, because he's had so much stuff going on at Ferrari over the years, emotionally, politically, socially, that I think he would love it at Mercedes, which is a much more clinical team from his point of view. And if it turned out to be Leclerc and Russell, rather than Leclerc and Hamilton, he says it would be from Mercedes' point of view a very good team. I don't think they'd be losing that much if they had Leclerc-Russell compared with Hamilton-Russell. I think Charles is that good. Leclerc might find a move to Mercedes appealing, considering Ferrari's turbulent start to the 2023 F1 season, as pointed out by Damon Hill. Ferrari, who were the main rivals to Red Bull last year, have faced setbacks and currently find themselves slipping down the F1 pecking order, currently occupying the 4th position in the Constructors' Championship. After a lackluster beginning to the season, Ferrari introduced a significant upgrade package for the Spanish Grand Prix. However, the performance improvements were minimal. Carlos Sainz faced difficulties as he dropped from the 2nd grid position to finish 5th, while Charles Leclerc, starting from the back due to a disastrous qualifying session, could only manage to climb up to 11th place. Despite Ferrari making changes to the rear end of Leclerc's car, the Monegasque driver expressed confusion, stating that he didn't understand what went wrong with the team's approach after experiencing various issues throughout the race. In the Sky Sports F1 podcast, Hill went and said, "It's a funny season in a way because we have seen quite a lot of disparity between apparent form on one circuit and the same form or expectations on another circuit. Everyone is scratching their heads, apart from Red Bull, who are delivering on every track. We can't say we can look at Barcelona and say that is now the form book for the rest of the season because Canada is a different track, so is Silverstone. There will still be variety through the field. Then what can you say about Ferrari? When one is up, the other is down. It's like they're running with one leg all the time. There always seems to be a problem with them." Rachel Brooks, Sky Sports F1 presenter, piled on to what Hill added, stating, "My worry is Ferrari are going in the opposite direction. They changed their car and we saw a very different Ferrari in Spain. They're now trying to chase that route as well. Where is the other challenge going to come from? There is a lot of work for a lot of teams and head-scratching going on. Do you think Leclerc should make the switch to Mercedes when his contract ends? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.